Hello, BrickCon. I love it. I love it. I want to thank the BrickCon crew for inviting me to speak to you guys tonight. I feel like I'm with my family. The New Zealanders might say my whānau, which is the word for family or tribe or clan, and I think that's amazing. So, tonight, I want to take you on a journey, because the theme of this year's BrickCon is journeys. So I want to share with you my journey in the context of our North American community and remind you about how we got here. A lot of you have been around since the beginning and somewhere in the middle there, but there's a lot of people that really don't know how we got here. It's kind of an interesting story, and mine's in the middle of that too. So buckle up. We're gonna race through this. So, I was a Lego kid since the age of 4. I was born in the mid-'60s in Western Canada. I've lived there all my life. And yeah, that was just an amazing time. Sadly, this is not me. I have no pictures of me with Lego as a kid, even though it absorbed all of my time. So blame my parents for that one. This was me. So this is pre-Lego. This is my distinguished gentleman phase. And yeah, I'm still a car guy. I don't remember that car, but I'm still a car guy. Every birthday and every Christmas since I was 4, I've had Lego. And I'm keeping up that perfect record, I hope. But I had a standard childhood. This birthday, I guarantee I got Lego. Don't know what I got for sure. But I grew up. There was no internet. There was no community. It was me and my friends. That was community. You had your friends that you played with, but as you got older, 13, 14, 16, it kind of went into the closet. I thought I was the only one. Maybe there was 10 of me in the world that were kind of teenage or approaching adulthood Lego fans. I might have been a little off on that. I went to college and became a computer squid, database programmer, all that sort of stuff. I started selling PCs, but I got to backtrack. I forgot about something. Going to go back to grade 8, wood shop. I made this little box, this very little box, and at that point, it encased my entire Lego collection. So all my Lego fit in this box. Now, it holds prizes. Can you ever have too many prizes? As a young man, in my IT career, I moved to the big city of Vancouver, Canada, and eventually, again, a still closet Lego builder. My roommates knew I had Lego and all that sort of stuff. It was kind of cool, but for everybody else, I kind of kept it pretty secret. I eventually met my future wife, who was way out of my league. So I had to find some game to try and make that happen. So this is also me. Top Gun had come out the year before. Bikes were really cool. So yeah, don't laugh too hard. Come on. So my wife's little brother was 11 years younger than her. Kind of a gift that arrived unexpectedly to the family. And he's a Lego fan, massive Lego fan. So I saw my chance to kind of ingratiate myself a little bit with the family. So I started building with them. And absolutely, won him over. We still build together today. And with his kids now, of course. This was one of my first mocks with him. So yeah, sorry for the fuzzy picture, but it was, of course, space. Where was the community now? So we're around 1990. Where was the community? There really wasn't much of a community. It was you and your buddies. You might have a couple of freaky friends from college that were Lego fans. That was it. So this became community. Now, I never actually used these things, but I did use dial-up. Everybody was on dial-up, and we were doing this kind of stuff. So we were dialing into Usenet. 1993, Alt Toys Lego, Rec Toys Lego. I know there's some people that are back from those days. And what did we do on other than communicate and find each other and begin to build a community? What did we do? We bought stuff. We sold stuff. We auctioned stuff. That was the biggest thing. We had these sources. There was no BrickLink. There was no aftermarket. There was the odd garage sale. And that's where this next story comes from. There was a time where, Paul will remember this, Paul Hetherington. We both lived in North Vancouver, and we didn't know each other yet, but we were we were snooping the same garage sales and things, and I happened to get to this particular one first. Turns out there was this gentleman that had been buying Lego sets, every single set he could find, since 1977. So that's 20 years at this point. This is 96. So he had 700 plus sets, including all the rare ones, all the cool stuff. So I had to buy them all. So I grouped together with a Lego, one Lego friend that I had. We scraped money together, and we bought the whole lot, and auctioned most of it off. We kept about a third of it, auctioned the rest off to the community on Rec Toys Lego, and still made our money back and more, and kept all these amazing sets. So that was really cool. That was my find of the century. Matt Childs, I think I saw Matt over there. So Matt, I remember meeting him later, and he got some of his space white whales from our auction. So that was kind of cool. So, yeah. So look at those prices. So these are opening bids. These are opening bids on here. So, Auxzilla. We weren't Auxzilla, but Auxzilla was around that time. And then the community started to develop. So we had all these amazing things. We had L-Draw come around, amazing resource to start with. Lugnet was where everybody hung out. Piron was an amazing site. Then we gradually specialized. Star Wars kind of hived off and had their own thing. Classic Space for Bixter Bothans. Brick Shelf. Now we had a place to display stuff. And Brickmania. I thought Dan Siskin was going to be here. He is here somewhere? Okay, so Dan is the OG Lego Ideas guy. So he had pretty much the first Lego Ideas set, blacksmith shop with Lego Direct, Lego's first sort of stab at marketing directly to the community. And he had his name on the box, which Lego Ideas doesn't even do now. So that was pretty cool. And of course, he has a million custom kits since then, brick and mortar. I'm sure he doesn't get any flack from the Lego company at all for all of that. So this, maybe we're kind of moving into the Silver Age, turn of the millennium. BrickLink starts. It was BrickBay to start, of course, but there was another website that had problems with that name, so they had to change it. BrickSet, which I still think is the most amazing resource on the internet for Lego. Eurobricks made a big splash even over here. Mock Pages, my future LCP buddy, Sean Kenny. And of course, Joe Mino, who's here, started the most amazing magazine right over here. So Brick Journal came around. And we started to feel like a community. We started to feel like we'd arrived. We've got some cred now. Lego came out with their own digital design package called LDD, Lego Digital Designer. Of course, Brothers Brick, which is still alive and going strong, 2006. And Will Chapman, 2005. Sorry, I've been corrected, 2005. I'll update it for the next presentation. And we started to get more people making a living by doing cool Lego stuff. So we had Will Chapman with Brick Arms. Of course, there's many since then. Then the cons arrived. Now we'd really started to get interesting. BrickFest was the first one. Of course, Northwest BrickCon, which became the con we're at now in 2002. Bricks West was one, and then the big one in 2007, Brick World. 2008 brought Lego Kuso, which became Lego Ideas, and that's been reasonably successful. And of course, we had Lego Universe.
Imagine a kid from Thailand, and one from Singapore, and one from Denmark, and one from Brazil, and one from Canada, all building with bricks on the exact same house or bridge or tower. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, but that's not what we got. That's what I was hoping for, but it's not what we ended up with. Well, I shouldn't say that. We did get it, but it wasn't from Lego, and it was called Minecraft. So now 15 years or so into my IT career, this was me. So I was burnt out. I was fried. And, it was just time to pack it in. my wife and I decided to close up shop. We went backpacking for a year. Went to Southeast Asia, went to Turkey, went to Nepal, and we just rethought everything. We reset. Tried to figure out what we thought was important in our lives. And one of the things that came back to me was, I love Lego. I just want more Lego in my life somehow. And so that was the impetus to really start diving in with these friends that I'd made. And that was the beginning. I was one of the first members of the Vancouver Lego Club. So this other lovely looking crew, look at this young guy here. My goodness. That was the beginning of things. So very soon after that, this superstar rolled. Already building us under the table. So, that was great. And the club just did amazing things. This was a show we did in Richmond near Vancouver. The show was advertised as having an 18-foot-long Hogwarts Express train made of Lego. So it was supposed to be 18 feet was the length of the entire table of display. So there was some disappointment when people arrived. They got over it, and we were all good. This is just before, by the way, Lego's Harry Potter sets came out. So this was all pre. What Will You Make tour? Did you guys participate in that in 2003? Some of you probably did. Lego, again, tried to engage the community, and they gave us a 6-foot round tent to display in. So we had to go vertical, and that's what we did in the club. I thought we had a great time with this one. It had a suspended monorail. It was really cool. We did a train show with a museum in the Vancouver area that is still happening to this day. And in fact, the club has a display that they're working on for this year. It's become a massive show. But it set records. It set donation records, it set attendance records, and it was just amazingly successful. Then the club did a show at a shopping mall. And same thing, lined up out the door of the whole mall to come and see our little show. And I thought, maybe there's a career in here. These places would pay to have this happen. So maybe I can parlay this into some sort of job. So I got busy. I started writing and figuring out, how could this work? And obviously, we've got to have Lego involved. Somehow, Lego's got to be part of this, because it doesn't make sense to not have that. This is BrickFest PDX 2004. Some of you are in this picture, I'm sure. And I presented a white paper to Jake McKee, the community guy at the time, and Tormod Askildsen about this programs that we could connect with the Lego company and the community. And I called it the Ambassador Program. And the professional side of it, I called it Ambassador Pro. So those names did change, and the logos changed into being ambassadors still, and Lego Certified Professionals. They were in trouble at this point. 2004, as you recall, was right kind of in the middle of their issues. They're losing a lot of money. They were looking for new ideas, looking for new revenue streams, just looking for something new. So I came along exactly the right time. Away we went. So with that in hand, and after a couple of proof of concept projects that Paul and my other partner Scott did, I formed Brickville Design Works with Paul and Scott. So away we went. One of our first big events was at our big Pacific National Exhibition, a 17-day long, grueling event. And it was 60 feet long under 4 tents. We had push buttons to activate stuff. We had, I did a live mosaic build. What else did we have? Oh, we had this. So they had us positioned. I wish it was just rain. They had us positioned behind and slightly downhill from the livestock barns. So we had crap water streams running through and around our tent. People still loved it and had a great time. But I think that might have been the end of the line for Paul. So Paul, being the artist he was, again, already just building up a storm. He decided he wanted to pursue his artistic side of things, and so he left Brickville. And Scott, my other partner, who had a second business, actually his first business, which was taking off, he decided he would go off as well. So then it was just me. And so I started to really dive in and connect with the community, because now I really needed them. So this was 2005 at Northwest BrickCon. I throw this in there because this was actually, Joe put me on the cover of Brick Journal and got Best in Show. The trophy's designed by Paul, by the way. And got Best People's Choice and a couple Castles Awards. Still not on this, by the way. Just want to point that out. Now, one of the things we did community-wise is, at that time, there was a lot of space would invade castle, castle would invade train, town, all that sort of stuff. So I got invaded, which was really fun. So we got Palmer and Gary McIntyre. Ryan Wood was in there. John Langrish was in there. And really completely revamped my castle. And I was tickled pink. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. So the LCP program really kicked in about a year after I'd introduced it because we had to work on it and work it up. These are the first 4. So we have our own Dan Parker, Seattle champion, myself, Nathan Sawaya, the poster boy of the whole program, and Sean Kenny. So we were the first ones. As part of the program, we would get together regularly, and this was our first visit to the employee store in Enfield. Mind blown, mind blown. We're all still fans, of course, right? We're not just Lego professionals. We ended up in Billund, and our first trips to the vault and to the archives, even the second vault that most people don't know about, underneath the first one. Idea House at the time. This is pre-Lego House, so we got to see all the old cool stuff. We did tour the building of Lego House the year we were there doing that, which was really cool. This is the big lobby. And got to meet and work with present to and be presented by to many really, really, really interesting people that you all know, and some other interesting characters as well. So what do LCPs do? Really briefly, LCPs basically do things that the Lego company doesn't have either the resources to do or the mandate to do. They don't do commissions for corporations. They don't do small regional events. They don't really get involved directly in that sort of thing. But we do that and a bunch of other things. So for me, I also do workshops for kids. I do commissions, a lot of small ones and some bigger ones, sometimes for the Lego company. That was a keyboard and amp, plus a couple guitars I did for a Lego Friends exhibit for Lego Canada. Sometimes they're a bit bigger. This is an architectural model I did with Dave Ware and Winston in Calgary. This ended up being the architectural model that they used in their sales office. And they would literally put little figures on the balconies when they sold a unit and stuff. It was really, really fun. Also do custom kits. So I've done a lot of these over the years. I'm estimating around 80, 85 over the years. And they're a ton of fun. I absolutely love doing them. Some of you will know some of the BrickCon ones. Paul and I, mostly Paul, worked on the last year's BrickCon one. And it was a lot of fun. Dave Shevchik is my biggest fan for those kits. He usually buys 5 or 6. So shout out to Dave. Exhibits. The bigger LCP organizations create their own exhibits. I have never done that yet, but I've contributed to several. And they tour across North America, and I do builds for them and things like that. But my favorite stuff is doing the big builds, by far. Live big builds is my bread and butter, and it's what I love to do. And the other LCPs, some of them are the same. So the big Sphinx is amazing. I rebuilt it 7 times over in different cities across Canada from the ground up. Lots of fun. It made the 2013 official Lego company calendar, which was really fun. So just lots of these kind of big builds. Usually a weekend, very often with helpers. Any Vic-luggers here? I don't think there's anyone from Vic-lug here, but we really slaved over this one. There was a lot of system built into it, and sculpting, and it took way longer than I estimated. You've seen some of them at BrickCon. So a giant Torii Gate from 2010, I think, and then one of many orcas I built over the years. Now, most of my builds don't end well, from our perspective anyway. Usually something happens to them, something like this. Just wait. It's coming. In 3, 2, 1. Because it's Duplo and Lego, and we get to use the same bricks to make something new. And that's the whole core of what we do. It's going to happen to at least one of the 2 builds I brought this year. So we'll see what happens. Also get to work on movie and TV projects. And that's a lot of fun. A few years ago, I did some stuff on Christmas Chronicles 2, built some big Duplo stuff, and involved the community. So the producers, art director, I guess, came down to BrickCon and actually picked out models that he liked. And those people sent their models up, and they ended up in this Lego shop in Santa's Village, which was really cool. So these two are on this picture here. That's Marianne Asanuma's Cathedral and Golden Gate Bridge. And amazing. They were front and center. Marianne is watching virtually, I know, and she's struggling a little bit. She's in a fight right now. So I would just like to say a big shout out to Marianne. Everyone say hi, Marianne. Stay strong. Stay strong. So the next big thing was BrickCon. So BrickCon, we sat down, a bunch of us sat down at the Blue Water Taco Mexican place near BrickCon in 2015 and thought, this is the time, this is the year, we need to do this. And so got the ball rolling and made things happen. And 2016 in April, that was the first BrickCon. Now it's been running 8 years, 5 of them virtual. 5 of them in person. My goodness. I can't believe it was 3 that weren't. It was crazy. But we all love it, and it's been an amazing thing to see happen. Of course, we like Duplo at BrickCon as well. I've done a few things there. Abner, I don't have proof anymore because I think he stole my phone and deleted the pictures. But Abner helped me build that red 2x4 Duplo brick. He'll deny it, I'm sure. So we had lots of other builds that happened. Rayfords with their yellow castle, absolutely. And this was a really good one. Love this one. And I love how Waylon and Jason in the front there look like they're actually watching the blank Duplo TV. It's really great. So we had this little break of COVID where I basically did nothing for a year and a half. And then I got got an email from Lego Masters, or a production company in New Zealand. I thought it was a prank. I thought, there's no way, this is my LCP buddies pranking me. I didn't answer it for 2 days. I thought, you know what, I better reply. So I did, and it was legit. And we talked. I was excited. And I essentially told them, this is the kind of show I would like to see. And if this is not the way you're going, I'm probably not your guy. The show we got was exactly what I wanted to see. And I was so pleased by that. But about 2 years ago, as of right now, we flew down, my wife and I, and it was going to be a 7-month pre-production and shooting 2 seasons. We loved the country so much, we stayed for an extra 4, and we're there almost a year, and it was absolutely amazing. So we did 2 seasons. This is the season 1 cast, season 2 cast, and my host, of course, is there, Di Henwood. So we were in Auckland. First few months, we spent doing pre-production. So that was, I had a hand in almost everything in the show. There was set design, there was casting, there was challenge testing and design, and all that stuff was part of what I was doing. Designing the brick pit, designing the back pit where the rest of the bricks go. All that stuff I was involved in. So that was my life, the picture on the right there. We had a little RC Duplo car, all kinds of fun. And there was a lot of this. Every couple of days, we had to do testing at home and then show proof of a negative test and before we could go into work. They were in full lockdown, and I'm surprised we even got the show made, to be honest. Then we started filming, and the promo started. So I had to troll the contestants on their very first day, season 1, first day coming onto the set. They had to walk by these boxes, the ugly part of the set, to get to the roll-up doors and come in the set. So we had these boxes, and of course boxes contain things, so I had to write on the contents what the boxes were. Here's what I wrote. And then at the end, I wrote this. And then they walked on a set. So they were a little flabbergasted, but it set the tone. We really connected. I connected with the community there, which is an absolutely amazing community. It was important to me to be part of that community, not just be aloof and be a judge. that stayed disconnected. As much as it was appropriate, especially after the show, I dialed into the community as best I could. And I went to lots of shows. I went to a lot of these people's homes. And we're still friends. We're great friends. We always will be. Lots of production stuff. It was great. Again, we avoided COVID for the most part, and everybody else would have been masked in these pictures, but we got away with it. I'll give you a little bit of behind the scenes about some of the pre-builds. My sketching skills, I know you're amazed at that, but we had an above and below challenge, and for us it was a monster's lair, above and below. So we came up with something from Maori tradition, which is the river guardian, or the taniwha. So I came up with this idea with a helper. We designed a model in Brick Builder, which is Lego's internal software. And then I set my 3 builders to building it. And they did. They came up with it, and this was the result. So this was one of many pre-builds, and this is Duplo. So again, that's never been done on any Lego Masters show, is using Duplo as a kind of a set piece, and it worked out really well. I also wanted to come up with some new challenges, things that I hadn't seen before. In addition to some classic challenges, but the one thing I thought would really be cool to do as a LEGO Masters challenge would be GBC. Now, GBC is really hard to do in a 10-hour build. You know how hard GBCs are to build and to have reliable. So I thought, okay, let's take there's been mini golf challenges. What if we did kind of a marble run thing? So we did that. That's what we designed. This was my first initial sketch, beefed it up a little bit. We used the Technic balls and added some story, because Lego Masters is all about story. So we had it rolling through time, and we had time eras. The top one was the Stone Age, then it rolled into the medieval time, then to an industrial age, and into the space age. And did some testing, some very basic testing to make sure it was going to physically work. We gave away to one team in a mini challenge a lift that I'd built, so then the other teams could then see how that was done as well and copy it and make their own. And these were just the plans for the portals. I designed a little end catch thing at the bottom, and then a whole system to deliver the ball back to the top so we could watch it run and film it, the whole thing, doing its whole thing, because everything connected. This is how it looked to the teams when they walked on set. So very, very minimal, very basic, and they took those away and built this. So really, really cool. Really, really cool. And we have a video showing of what this looked like.
And now, it's time to see them all put together.
There's my catch.
All right, everybody, the moment we've all been waiting for. Here's our hero ball. Let's send it on a journey through time. Ball is loaded. Coming up to the top, we're going to enter the Stone Age. And here we go, starting. Rolling through the jungle. Is it going to make it down into the log? Approaching the geyser. It's been lifted up, exploding onto the spine, and traveling into the Middle Ages. Does the jump? Yes!
Yes!
The jump was successfully navigated. Now through the Knights. And stop on there, through there. We are now in the Industrial Age. About to get lifted up on the neglected machinery that's still working for some reason. There it is. Awesome. Along the roof, down the spiral staircase, and into the Space Age. Oh, it took the long way. That's going to give it more time. Off to the stepper lift, and the stepper is slow. Spends a lot of time in space, one step at a time, but still in motion. Still going.
GBC, right?
About to enter the rocket and go for a little ride. Here we go, down through the rocket, onto the tongue. Will it fall off? No!
So that's how that turned out. So teams got a bonus for keeping the ball in motion in their time area for as long as possible. So who do you think won that challenge? Space. Yeah, absolutely. So why do I bring up all this history? in terms of community. Because this is how I feel. This is how I feel about the community. It's so intrinsically tied into who I am as a person and my business and my Lego experience. It's you guys. It's this wonderful tribe. This is really how I feel. But the last 10 years, which I haven't really talked about, we've seen a lot of explosion of change and lots of new stuff, much more diversification, social media, streaming, lots of new cons, and especially a lot more involvement in the community from the Lego company itself. So I'd like to give you some thoughts as a wrap-up on kind of reminding us of how I think we got here as people and as a community, and maybe some ideas about how we could continue to strive as a community. I'm going to go from the easy ones that we're really good at to maybe some tricky ones that we maybe need to work on. So, first of all, you're never too old to play. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, and we do this part really well. We're really good at this. This C.S. Lewis quote really sums it up for me. I've always thought growing up is overrated, so I'm not going to do it. Somebody posted this on my feed the other day, and I thought it was pretty good. So far for me, it checks out. It's pretty accurate. But all of these things, it's funny and we laugh at it, and it's really cool, but there's a fear and a cynicism in every single one of those. And that's what we need to avoid. We need to avoid that cynicism, that jadedness, that getting too serious and taking ourselves too seriously. And I think we just have to remember that we love to play together. Secondly, be amazed and be amazing. We look around and we see this room of brilliant builders and unbelievable creations and thousands of hours put in, and we are amazed. So be amazed. Tell the people the creations that you like, how amazing it is. Build each other up. Let's encourage each other. Let's learn from each other. That's what we came to see. We came to see all these amazing things. And sometimes it feels like you might not be able to approach somebody. I'm telling you, approach them. Give them praise. Ask them questions about how they did things. Hear their stories about their Lego story, just like this. Hear how they did something. Listen to them. You'll learn a lot. You'll build them up, and we become stronger as a community. And secondly, this part here, the token thing. The tokens, I think, are really cool. That this is becoming a bit of a trend now, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm all for peer praise. You know, the trophies are great and whatnot, but getting praise from your fellow builders and your fellow whatever your thing is in the Lego hobby, collecting, making films, streaming, whatever, getting praise from your fellow people is fantastic. Absolutely love it. And the public absolutely loves it as well. So as the small kids and families come in tomorrow, you're going to hear the same kind of things and the same questions from dozens of kids. So be amazing to them. Take the time with them. Spend time. Answer the question like it was the first time it's ever been asked to you. I know it's tough, but it will be meaningful to them. I think of myself as a 6-year-old kid. If I'd had a chance to meet Eric Law and look at his Harry Potter display, I'd have been blown away, absolutely blown away. And you guys do that to these kids. So remember that and be amazing. Who knows who this is? Anybody recognize this person? That is Renata, exactly. And some of you are probably in those pictures. I know I'm in at least 3 pictures on her wall. Renata is a person at Legoland, California. And she does very special VIP tours. Very simple, very straightforward, but she is absolutely perfect at giving that one-on-one experience, and she's done it for thousands and thousands and thousands of kids and families, and lugs and everybody. So she's one of my heroes. Be like Renata. Be amazing. Finally, and here's where I get a little tricky. Don't let others steal your joy. Build for you. I think sometimes we get a little carried away with that praise. It's the flip side of giving all that praise. If that becomes the main thing that you're focused on, You're looking for that recognition. You want to win the prize. You want to get the praise from everybody, and you don't get it, and it bums you out. That's a problem. You're eventually not going to get what you need. You're eventually going to be disillusioned and disheartened and disappointed. I know friends that have quit the hobby because they didn't feel they got that recognition and they put all the work in. Because they didn't build for themselves. They didn't build for the pure joy of creating. Rise above intimidation. Amazing builders. You walk in as a first-time attendee or even a long-time attendee, and you see this amazing work, and you think, I could never do it. It's impossible. Impossible. Who here had a first mock in their life? Who built their first mock at some point? Correct. Yeah. So whatever it is, your first thing, your first dive in, just do it. Just rise above it. Get past that initial thing. I promise you, you're going to stand back, even in your own little place where you build Lego or you create your brick film or you do whatever you do with Lego. You collect whatever it is that you're going to stand back and look at it and you're going to have joy. You're going to be satisfied with what you did. And then when you share it, you're going to get even more. So just rise above that intimidation. Take a chance. Bring a mock to the con. Compete carefully. I touched on this earlier. As a community, I think we tend to get a little bit carried away with competing on every front. I think we can get a little bit too much. That's my personal view, but I'm the one with the mic, so I get to say my personal view. So I'm all for it. That's why I love the tokens and the pure praise. I think it's fantastic. I do, however, hope that doesn't become another competition. So I hope that it's not like who creates the best tokens or how many tokens you get versus the next one. So again, that's the tendency of our community. So again, let's love each other. Finally, watch for group pressure. This is a thing. How many of you have felt pressure to build for a display that your lug was doing or participate in an event it's not your thing? It's not something that you would normally do. Yeah, a lot of people. How many people feel like their Lego hobby has become like a second unpaid job with all the time that they put in? How many lugs are striving to meet all the R-lug requirements? So that they get those privileges. This is a thing. Obviously, it's a thing. So I want to remind you that you've got to watch for that group pressure and be sensitive to the members of your lug. Don't let others steal that joy. Keep the joy that you get personally as the forefront thing. This is a hobby for us. I know clubs that have dissolved because of this. It's just been too much pressure to dissolve. I also know lugs that have recognized this tendency, made changes, and brought the joy back to their membership. For some of them, that was abandoning their R-lug status, and they never looked back. So just be mindful of that group pressure and where you find your joy. Don't let others steal your joy. So to wrap up, and yes, that is Comic Sans for laugh, because that's appropriate. So laugh and play. Laugh and play. Learn and appreciate. Appreciate and learn. Take time and listen. And best of all, love. Let's love. Thanks, everybody.